turn off my own computer. So, welcome. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're always doing leads and songs and solos. And I said leads and solos, the same thing. But, I'm trying to think of, I don't know, other styles of people. Today, it's all about you and rhythm and how to play with a drummer. I'm going to put a drum track down below, the one I'm using in this lesson. It's something I was, working up a tune, and I thought, oh, this would be fun. So I'm going to make that available to you. So make sure you click in the description box down below if you want to have the drum track to play along with. All right, so let's zoom in for a closer look and check out a lesson on how to play with the drummer. All right, so first off, I'm grabbing this out of Logic. I think this is in GarageBand too. And if you guys have Apple computers, the single best songwriting tool I've ever come across, which is the hardest part for me, is they have a drummer that allows you to really customize. It's like a little track you can open up and you can build your own drum loops or drum tracks or whatever you want to call them, and you can totally manipulate it to be exactly what you want. So that's my little plug for Apple and GarageBand and Logic, but I swear to you, it's worth every cent if you have an Apple computer, just for that alone, because that's about the only thing I know how to use in those programs anyway. But what happens is you can make your own drum tracks, right? So we got a little, let's see, we'll rewind this here. All right, I mean, how can you not want to play to that, right? And woohoo! So the cool thing about it is it allows us and it teaches us a very important thing. One of the things as we start playing with other people is we want to play to or with a drummer, right? Maybe a live drummer or whatever, but maybe we haven't learned to, play in that situation before, and so we're nervous, right? Oftentimes we just are listening to ourselves, trying to get our own part down or whatever, and we completely are just in our own world. The great thing about playing to a drum track alone is it allows you to develop the ability to listen to other instruments, and that's critical when you want to play with a band. You got to be able to hear not only what you're doing, but what everybody else is doing. And one of the best ways to do that is to start off with just a drum track and really zone in on everything that drummer is doing. And in this case, we're going to try to sync up a rhythm with the kick and the snare. Now we got a real simple beat. Right? So that's awesome in itself. It's a great natural sounding beat. What we can do is listen for the kick and the snare and what it's doing, and then try to mimic that with our guitar. Now we can just pick one chord, so we'll just pick a G. Okay, sounds awesome, right? Now, I'm trying to do exactly what that kick and snare is doing. Yeah, So start without a chord even, right? Just mute out your strings and see if you can get in perfect time with that kick and that snare pattern. And that's a great way to start developing your own strum pattern. Say you're creating a song, go off of the drummer, right? They're the foundation. Your drummer's gonna love to hear that, but they're the source in the band, the rhythm, the feel. Here we go. So it's down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Okay, now you can put that to chords. All right, now when you want to tighten that up, you can add a little bit of muting here with your hand. also the hi-hat you can listen to. So it's, right? It's doing that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9. Right? So it's doing that pattern. So you can mute with that. Check this out. So you can really sink in between that kick and the snare, doing all downstrokes muted. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe you want to let those notes ring through on those kicks and snares. You know, that's just a real simple. Now, another thing that you can do is you can practice doing arpeggiated chord patterns, right? So what I mean by that, instead of just going, right? You can do like a, right? Make up whatever pattern you want. But the point being is you're starting to listen not only to the whole rhythm track, right? The drummer, but you can start to zone in on specific things. Like you want to line up with that kick and snare and really rang through it, right? So here we go. Now, one of the things you can do is you can mix up the pattern all together. So, right? So, you know, I spend tons and tons of time messing with those. I'll fall off the wagon a little bit and not, play with the drummer that much. And then I'll go practice with the band, right? And I'll be like, oh, God, I need to I need to practice my loops again, because it really lets you, again, zone into just you and one other instrument, especially with the drums, man. If you can lock up with your drummer, the other guys, they can, it helps if everybody locks in together. But so if you're like, hey, bass player John or Sally, you should play to this drum. Yeah, I got this guy gave me this free drum shack. You should try playing with it too. Because, once everybody locks up, man, that's where it's at. And then you go out and you see a band, or you are that band, and you're tight, which is what everything is about. So I'm going to play this little thing I made up here, and I'll break it down here in just a second what I did, but I'm trying to get everything all together, all the techniques I practiced, and then I'm like, well, let's just pick really basic chord progression. We'll do like G, C, D, and then maybe a verse of like E minor, C, G, E minor, C, D, and then back to a full-on chorus. So we'll essentially make a song to practice to. All right, so here we go. So, right, it's just basic, but the cool thing about it is we're going over all the different techniques, right? The beginning's just right along with the drum beat. 3, 4. Now this next part right here, I brought it down to a verse, and I did what we were talking about with the mutes, right? But I did it kind of back and forth. So I do 1 open, 1 mute. Right, and I put in a drum fill on purpose that kind of builds into the chorus. Boom, 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 bah, right? That's my attempt at being a drummer, right? But when that comes to that part, then take the same chorus idea or the same beginning, right, that we did. Maybe, you know, just go G, C, D. I added a little, right? So I played with it a little bit. That's what a lot of songs do. They just tweak the same chords just a little bit. Maybe add a, right? And that goes along with the hi-hat. Right, so it's just downstrokes from the A string. Go down to the 2nd fret, back to the 3rd fret, and then skip over the middle string there, the D string. So very, you know, Shook Me All Night Long-ish, AC/DC style. But you can take a simple track like that, a simple drum track, and make a million different songs out of it, right? But the point is, it teaches you, again, to listen to what the band is doing. If you want to improve, get in the pocket. This totally works for lead playing too, and I'll do a lesson on that as well. But if you want to start to be able to get in the pocket and to be able to play songs, have fun, you know, join in a coffee shop band or a bar band or whatever, being able to play to a loop, especially, you know, one that has, you know, that's pretty good and has a little bit of feel to it, is essential. And I swear to you, if you get good to it or good at it, you will get a gig. I promise, promise, promise. So try that out. Have some fun with it. And, you know, if you want to see more stuff like this, let me know in the comments down below. Yes! Way to go. Don't forget the drum track in the description box down below. You guys are awesome. There's also other links down there too, so check it all out. There's, you know, there's always something down there to check out. So make sure you avail yourself of those links. And oftentimes there'll be something like this, like a drum track or a chart or something. So, you know, it's like you have to wait and find out. It's like the prize in the Cracker Jack box. Or is that what those things were called? Cracker Jack box? I don't know. Fruit Loops box, whatever you want to call it. All right, thanks so much for watching and the support. We'll catch you next time.